I forgot that this was even happening. A few months ago, they announced that Emperor will be getting a new character since he won the popularity contest. Kind of wild to me that out of everybody, Emperor won again and not Juno. Like, come on, man. Either way, though, we now are finally getting that brand new Emperor. It definitely took a lot longer than what it did last time whenever we got like Demon Lord Vox. Demon Lord Vox, I feel like they announced him like the month after the results got announced in the popularity contest. Maybe they did know, but maybe they didn't know that Emperor was gonna win again. It was very interesting though, because I was like, how can you take this guy and make him different? For one, in the story, he's dead now. For two, we've already done the positional mechanics twice at this point, and we pretty much made the same unit in two different eras. How are we gonna make Emperor again for a third time? And they decided to make him into Young Emperor. Didn't see that coming, gonna be honest, really didn't. He actually looks really cool in this art and everything, but one thing that bothers me the most is I'm assuming this is like teenage Emperor, but listen to his voice here. It sounds virtually unchanged from his other counterpart. Now, I don't know the age gap between this and like the other emperors. You know, it may only be like a few years, but if this is supposed to be teenage Emperor, I'm expecting his voice to be slightly different, maybe a bit higher pitched, kind of like really showing that he's a teenager going through puberty, possibly throwing a few voice cracks, maybe, you know. It just is really off to me. I don't really play with sound anyway in the game, but if I ever do and I hear this Emperor, it's gonna be like, oh, this is a grown man talking, but no, this is Young Emperor. But let's get into the meat and potatoes here and talk about his info. I looked over this. It seems pretty good, chat. I'm not gonna lie. He seems like a menace, and especially since he's a light human, which every single Emperor to this point has been a light character, that's just the icing on the cake, man. Because a Kenshin, Saitama, sheesh. He's gonna be having all 5-star slots, not surprising, being an Emperor after all, and his final slot will be able to be a defense or a 5-star support if you take him all the way up to LB7. In terms of the entire kit here, we have a crazy skill being able to give you 100 art gauge for the first 90 seconds of a quest. We have the art that's reducing evasion, also buffing up stats. I love the stat buff. This is one thing that I wish BF Emperor had, but it's finally back on this Emperor. The true art is giving a damage res down and also buffing up your own super crit rate. The super art is 160k multiplier. You buff up everybody's art gauge by 50, and then for 45 seconds you increase light allies damage by 150%. Stackable. Additionally, if used within the first 90 seconds of a quest, you increase light allies damage by an additional 50%. Passives here give everyone on the team 30 arts. When he's above 80% HP, he's giving himself more crit, and he increases magic res by 10%. His true weapon is called True Heaven's Gate. Of course, he doesn't have his 3 blades yet, so this is his original weapon, which is kind of cool. He reduces enemies light res by 30%. I kind of hate how it's just that's all they did, just a light res down and nothing else. I wouldn't have been opposed to True Heaven's Gate being the true Owen for Mono Light, but I guess they weren't thinking about that. Abilities, when equipped by Young Emperor Islid, you increase your own physical damage by 70% and arts by 1 per second. It's gonna be best in slot form, 70% damage buff. I mean, that's pretty freaking insane. At the start of battle, you increase your own arts by 20 and refresh this equipment CT. Wait, what? At the start of battle, you increase your own arts by 20 and refresh this equip CT. This isn't his unique passive. That's a passive that's able to be used on every single character in the game. Everybody in the game can get 20 art gauge at every single start of battle. So every stage transition, you're gonna get 20 arts by default thanks to this, and it refreshes the equip CT, which is kind of whatever. But if this has a fast animation, this is gonna be one of the best nuke equips in the game. If we talk about this Emperor and talk about team compositions that we could possibly use him in while we have his animations going on in the background, which are incredible. I'm loving how these look. So let's look at Mono Light first before anything else. Mono Light has had a huge resurgence currently. Like, I feel like we had Mono Dark Demon for a very long time that was insanely like dominant and just very oppressive in the meta. We still have Mono Fire that's insane, but Mono Light has been getting so much support recently, not only just with One Punch Man that just happened, but also Kenshin. Kenshin is like defining the Mono Light meta and damn near the meta itself. Another video on that in the future though. So of course you can combine this guy with someone like Kenshin and someone like the new Saitama. You're getting a lineup that you're going to be able to have tons of DR as soon as you get into the fight, right? Just tons of DR for the entire team. Saitama's giving you even more DR thanks to his true arts. You can stack attack with Kenshin and stack damage with Young Emperor and wind up making it to where Saitama is blowing up everything in front of him. And the craziest part is that we don't technically have to use a Mono Light team for this last slot. I mean, if you wanted to use someone like Orvale here, great character. If you want to use someone like Summer Chloe in that last slot of this team, also really good. Even BF Emperor himself can be used alongside Young Emperor and still be really great. But I'm thinking here is that maybe instead of just going straight Mono Light, you throw on another human character, Hoka. We could throw on an Ultimate Paladin Roy, Shadow, you know, anybody in this last slot here. And now you have one of the strongest teams in the game. That's pretty impressive, man. I mean, the worst part about this team is that it's very expensive. All of these characters are relatively new. Young Emperor just coming out. One Punch Man, he was the most recent crossover in JP. Kenshin was the last crossover. So it's very expensive to actually run, and most players may not have everything at their disposal. Even with that being said, this Emperor can still be insanely strong outside of Mono Light, since he's kind of more of this attacker. Even though he does have a lot of like support stuff in the kit, it's very easy just for this guy to do pretty much anything you want him to. He's not just this DPS character that is able to like have stats up and stuff like that too. He's a character that's giving Arc Age. His super art gives a burst of 50 arts, which means he can be used on Wilkes, ladies and gentlemen. Holy, I just not thought about it. He definitely nailed this release, and overall, I'm extremely happy with how they did Emperor. Either way, thank you all so much for hanging out. Tell me down below what you all think about this man, Young Emperor. Are you loving him? Are you hating him? Is he kind of whatever to you? Let me know all that type of stuff down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, I haven't been check out this video right here. It's talking about the OG characters, the top tiers, your Hearts, your Mirandas, your Volti LRs. All of them just got buffed on JP, and if you want to see what those buffs are so you can get ready for them whenever they come out on Global, click on this video. I'll meet you over there. Oh, and one more thing before you leave, don't forget to drink water.